Yo, what is going on, guys? What is up? What is up, man? I've been hearing more and more of this ridiculousness of electric companies coming after us miners because we're the fucking easy target, guys. Let's dig into what it's all about, guys. Yo. Yo, crypto nation and mining family, what is going on? What's up? What's up? What's up? How's it going, everybody? Definitely, as you're sliding on in here, smash that lizardy like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff, guys. Helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. So, hope you guys have had an amazing week, crushing it. It is FA Friday, guys. It is another happy end of the week and the beginning of, hopefully you guys got the weekend off, because, you know, your days off should be days that you grind on projects that move you forward. That's basically what your days off should be all about. Not, how can I put it? It's not financial advice, but it sure is life advice. You should be always trying to use your time off as a way to either learn something or build something. I'm just saying. It's what wealthy people do. I'm just saying. Those small little sacrifices. It's what wealthy people do. So, but I hope you guys have had a great week. Hopefully, you know, in whatever job you are doing, you are not absolutely miserable. If you are, you should try to change that. But, you know, it's like, I know there's time, you know, it's like with me being in the automotive industry, I love dealing with the automotive industry. I think I more hated it from the aspect of how management let the customers do whatever they want, and they would bend the knee to the customer even when the customer was 100% wrong. 100% wrong. The days of, you know, the manager sticking up for what is right for some reason is gone for a measly little bit of profit instead of reputation. And that was the only thing that ever irritated me. Outside of that, man, I loved working on cars. I loved it. It's kind of my jam. So, but another thing that's my jam is mining. Hardware. I do nerd out on some good hardware. And talking about nerding out on some good hardware, guys, yo, check this out. The ARC A750. This one will be a limited edition for China. What up, dude? What's going on? So I kind of like it because it's like a gold edition almost. Has a little lion head on there. So I mean, like, you can kind of do this black and gold theme with this. I like that, especially if the the RGB is like a gold accent along with that. Ooh, that'd be so extra crispy. He's like, when the A750, bro, when A750. I'm kind of wanting to grab this one. Not to lie, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to grab this one. This one looks super crispy. But there's no miners on. There's not a lot of miners that really support this. So it's really hard to sit there and justify purchasing this when there is no return in on an investment. Not that I'm gonna fucking make my money back, but there's no returning with that investment. He's like, "You glad you don't get a 4090?" I'm kind of glad. Everybody wonders why sometimes this guy will hold off on a couple of things from time to time, and I'm like, this is something new. I might not want to grab this right away. It's okay. Like, I'll let other people basically be the test drivers and see what the fuck happens. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I do that from time to time. There's other times where I jump in gung-ho on something and I'm like, this is going to be extra crispy, dude. I'm gonna like this. So, but yeah, I didn't see that with the 4090s, and with that new plug style that they're forcing out on all of them. Yeah, I saw some small amount of issues, but just a feeling you have. Yep. Sometimes I just have this weird feeling that I'm like, man, something's just not right about it. But I do like this A750, even the A770. Having the ARC lineup, I would like to get one of the Battle Mage instead. I'm really kind of excited to see the Battle Mage editions with the Intel, and see how nice that is. But again, they still have some interface issues. Intel, if you're freaking listening to me, please fix the interface for that interface is on the GPU. Give me fan control also while you're at it. How hard is it to give me fan control? I might know what's best for the card in times of what I'm doing. Maybe I want the cooler to start off a little bit cooler so that I can ramp into something a little harder. Give me the choice of making my own stuff. I mean, but as a first editions with a lot of these cards, I dig it. I really do. I freaking dig it, guys. And especially the look on this one. I would not mind getting my hand. I mean, guys, that's just really nice. I like that. I wish they would flip it over and show. I wish they would show this thing running in a case. But it seems like Intel likes to slap down a limited edition on everything. You know, it's like you got the A770 a limited edition. Now you got the A750 limited edition. So it'll be interesting to see how the GPU's performance is as they get the drivers updated on there. More developers start integrating Intel's architecture to run with their stuff too. I think that they can pull something together with NVIDIA kind of making a very shitty play with how they're doing their cards. This could be a time where, you know, ARC GPUs could come in and take a little bit of market share. Followed up with, if they come out with the Battle Mage editions, the B series. If their B series starts hitting into the same category with AMD and NVIDIA, then NVIDIA is going to have to step it up on their end too, and kind of start pandering to the market of what the people want, what the people need, and stop trying to play, you know, supreme overlord of GPUs, and they get to dictate what you have to adopt. At this point in time, this may be a play that might hurt NVIDIA a little bit. Not that it's going to take them out of the market. It just might hurt them just a little bit. Considering now we've had two GPU series that have had power pin connection melting problems. The 2080 Ti, if you guys didn't remember, they were also melting their 8 pins. NVIDIA's already been having problems. They've been like ice skating around and trying to figure out better and better solutions for this. Cool. I get it. But whenever they're now creating new problems with a new standard that they didn't completely think out of, okay, we need to build this for real world use. how people are actually going to put these cases together. And it looks like, it's like if Intel does it where they look at the making the standard gaming market. My cats are going nuts back there, guys. This guy here, he's an asshole. Okay, this is an asshole. Okay? Just to let everybody know, Pepe is a butthead to all the other cats. I'm just telling you. I know, right, Rude? Bad kitty, bad. But the 3090 is the best GPU for gamers. Right. I would say the 3090 is supposed to be the fucking Titan class. That is a Titan class GPU. I won't look at it as anything else. NVIDIA can market it for whatever they want, right? I don't care what NVIDIA tries to say. The 3090 and the 3090 Ti are your two Titan classes. The 3080 and the 3080 Ti, that's the gamer class. That is for us, guys. That was always earmarked for us. That was their top tier gamer GPU, even going back to the 10 series. The 1080 Ti was the best GPU out there for mining for many years. Best card out there for data centers for many years. And then they were like trying to kill off the Titan line, and they just integrated that into the GTX line. And people kind of fell for it, going, "Oh, this is the best of the best. I have to have the best of the best, right? It's the best of the best." They say it's the best of the best, and it's like I got to have the most RAM in there. Most RAM means I'm going to have the best performance. It's like, not really. Not when GPUs don't even need to utilize all that. I've got a 3080 Ti. Do I see any bottlenecking on there? No, not at all. That fucking thing rocks, dude. Mine's pretty good. It's like I still have a 1080 Ti and it's still super, man. I know. I was running a 1080 Ti in here. I had the Zotac. It was a rare card from Zotac. It was the 1080 Ti Amp Extreme Core Edition. So that was like their low production card, but it was like the powerhouse. I kind of found out like some of the specs on that card, and I was like, ooh, did I keep the box to it? I do not know. I don't remember if I did or didn't. I try to keep a lot of that stuff, but I didn't know how rare the card was at the time, and yeah, I don't remember now. I don't remember. So, but moving right along on that stuff, talking about other GPUs now. AMD yesterday announces the Radeon 7900 XT and the XTX line, guys. So I'm wondering if they're still going to come out with like a 7900, and then they'll have three different SKUs for the 7900 series. So you'll have your base model, midline, and top tier. But for the XT, that is going to be your mid-tier, 300 watt total board power. AB1 encoding and decoding on there like that. 2.1 display port. It's got a Type C display port on there and an HDMI, one HDMI. I like the cleanness of how the backplate on this bad boy looks, guys. Some people were concerned about that, but this has a vertical fin stack orientation. So the heat dissipation's going either forward towards the front of the case or up, basically up or down. It's not going to be blowing out towards the back of the case with a vertical fin stack. So there's no need to worry about that. Plus, it looks like for the most part they did close off the cooler section from the exterior like that. But if you've got a good case with good airflow, this should not be a problem at all. This has been a tested and true design for many, many years. And you do not need to have a ventilated rear IO on here. So don't be alarmed on that. This card still, to me, this is what I'm saying. It's got the vertical fin stack on here. So, it's going to be dissipating it from here. I thought it was hilarious that AMD during the presentation had to sit there and do shots fired, guys, and going, we are not utilizing that goofy 12 volt high volt fucking connector, that they were sticking with the dual 8-pin and the triple 8-pin. There's already been AIB partners that you've seen with a triple 8-pin already on the card. So it looks like they're going to be sticking with this pin out, or at least for this generation. Do not know if they're going to change their mind on the next generation. If they can make a better connector with less likelihood of failure with bending of the cables. You got to make a robust cable, basically, that people can just mindlessly put it together in a case. The people that are doing pre-built computers are having one of us basically fucking build it. Sometimes even with less experience. And they're going to make even sloppier mistakes and harder bends. So if you've got to make these PCs semi-idiot proof and plug and play almost. Hey, plug this into board, plug power in here, done, right? And then you can sit there and cable manage. You've got to be able to allot for wires moving around. You can't just make your pinout so rigid that just trying to cable manage and cable train something that you can actually do damage. It doesn't even matter if you are in, it's like, even in automotive, you've got to sit there and take into account, I've got to make a bend around here, but the pinout is robust enough that even if there's like a little bit of a pull on the cable, just a little bit, it's not going to just yank everything apart and cause hot legging, because that's basically what we've been seeing with a lot of these, is a lot of hot legging around that 12 volt connector. So that is probably one of the big reasons why AMD decided to not utilize that connector. It looked like they were considering it, and then they were like, nope. Yeah, testing. Yeah, 2x8. I would, it's like, until they sit there and they kind of get it to where people can cable train the stuff, I don't think you're going to see any real adoption at all. But man, I have to say, I do like how that card right there looks. That's kind of slick. I like it. And for the pricing, and yes, I screenshotted this from Gamers Nexus. But this was during their presentation here. But the pricing on this thing is just phenomenal, guys. I mean, you're talking $1,000 on the XTX line, and $900 on the about $900 on the 7900 XT model. So I'm thinking that we're, depending on the AIB partners, they're going to be $100, $200 more. But at least AMD is not trying to compete directly with the AIB partners like NVIDIA. So at least with AMD, the people that are producing the GPUs can actually make money, because AMD is not trying to undercut them. Because they know how it is. Can't sit there and cut out your partners. And NVIDIA should take a little page from AMD on how to not fuck people over. I'm just saying. But I do like their little chiplet design setup on here with the big core, little core setup. So it's going to be like V-cache. So most of the time when you saw these die setups like this, you would think HBM2 memory modules. Well, these are basically little virtual caches for the graphics card itself, the VGA core itself. So it makes the memory transfer a little faster because it's basically got two spots. It's got quick access, and then and you're talking faster and faster. So very cool. Yo, thank you for the cheers, yo. I it's not that I'm falling in love with it, my man. I just kind of I nerd out on good hardware. I'm sorry, man. Like even with race cars, man, you get some new hardware to go into a race car that gives you better data, does something more efficiently. You have my full fucking attention. I'm like, ooh, I like that. Ooh. But it's like the way that they're kind of offloading work. This might be a lot of what's going to be able to push their VGA core up into the higher frequencies. Now that they're able to hit 3 gigahertz now on the cores, guys. They are on the record with saying that they've gotten up to 3 gigahertz, guys, right here. Bam! 3 gigahertz, but don't expect such clocks from AIBs. I wouldn't sit there and say that. I would sit there and say you get the right lottery winner. You get one that has enough power potential on it, spec'd out right with the proper cooler, because a lot of that is also due to cooler designs. So the better the cooler design, and you can't count out like Sapphire, I'm sorry, but man, a good Sapphire card, dude, like they do a blue nitro, or you get a red devil. I guarantee you're going to be able to. Some of those are going to hit 3 gigahertz or better. I guarantee you. So I mean, it might not be. You might have to put it underneath the water block in order to do it. You might have to put it underneath a chiller of some sort, but it should. I think that AMD is getting closer and closer to being very competitive with NVIDIA for the first time in a long time, and I think they're doing it on a better budget. And don't expect it from AIBs. Come on, it's like I think we're going to be able to expect it. What are you doing, you crazy cat? Stop messing with the other kitties. Jesus. He is such a dick. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. So, I think for the performance that they are now offering, I think that this is going to be a GPU that we'll be able to recommend to people. For gaming purposes. I don't think it's now going to be, oh, you want a good gaming experience, grab NVIDIA. That's the only way you do it. I really think that we are now starting to see performance, because like you're talking about, oh, we need ray tracing. Why? We just need to make sure that we can output 4K. Most people don't even have 4K. Most people are 1080p to 2K, which is what I'm at. I'm 2K. I've got 1440p. So most people are 1080p to 1440p. Very, very few people are going to be in that 4K range, and even less pushing true 8K. Very, very small amount of people are pushing 8K. So you're gonna pander to the top less than 1% of your market, or are you going to want to get into the market that where most of your purchases are going to be actually done in, which is going to be in our bracket, guys, which we're going to be your gamers that are trying to we're trying to get a good computer on a budget. We're going to try to get a good miner on a budget. So I think AMD is going to be the go-to until NVIDIA pulls their heads out of their ass. Yeah, exactly. 1080p is the most played on Steam. If you go with Steam's analytics, most people are playing 1080p. Why are we worried about 4K? It's like, if you guys are wondering what 4K screens look like, open up another tab and go ahead and look up what the price is of a 4K monitor, right? We'll do like a 4K, let's say 32-inch gaming monitor, right? So, there we go. On Newegg. That's actually not too bad for a 4K screen. It's $300. Damn. That's actually not bad. Was not expecting that. I was expecting that to be even more. Now let's look at 8K gaming monitor. What's oh yeah. So we're no. That is, yeah, here we go. So $500 versus, $200 or $300. So, 500 or it's like, so I wouldn't see people going past this point, a 4K monitor. I don't see people pushing back over to, to the $500 mark. Now, there's a caveat to that. If you're going to sit there and you're going to get these cheaper monitors that are 4K or 8K monitors, right? Yes, you have the pixel density, but it's the quality of the image at that point. So you want a good quality 4K monitor, you're going to be in the $800 range for a gaming monitor that's going to be snappy enough with the right color resolution on there and just a overall good experience, right? An 8K monitor, you're going to be $1,200 and up. You can find a $500 8K monitor, but you'll see the difference between that $500 monitor versus a $1,200 high-end monitor, right? So it's just the kind of like the snappiness of the pixels, how the dimming zones are. That is a lot of what you're looking for, is how good of color control is it. And then God forbid, now these are these are not even OLED. You do OLED, don't even look at the price tag if you want that. If you want that, that's because you just got stupid money and you just buy it, right? The rest of us are going to be looking at, So, I would rather sit there, me personally. I've got my 1440p monitor. It's 165 hertz. I can sit there and get that for $180 now, right? Versus this. So, and am I missing a whole lot for not, having 4K? No. I'm sorry. No. I would rather just get a couple of monitors and just spread out, because like with that, I get a wider viewing experience, especially if I'm doing my simulation games. I get a better viewpoint of the cockpit. 1080p monitors is like what, €50? Yeah, exactly. And what? It's $100 if you want a really good, €100 if you want a really good 1080p. Maybe €125 for a really good 1080p experience. 144 hertz. Yeah, it's €50. Oh shit, nice. Nice. Nice, 27 inch. Nice. And then also to go along with those new 7900s, if you're like myself, I love doing custom water blocks. I love custom water loops. They're fun to build. It's just how I like them. Once a PCB is finalized, they usually do give them out to like EK to be able to start making liquid cooler blocks for them. So with all due, EK has already come out with the 7900 XTX GPU kits already. Nice and clean looking. I like the soft underglow of everything running on the Vector 2 setup on there. The very back of this is actually pretty sharp too. Real light amount of RGB. I like the understated RGB setup on here. To me, this is a very, very clean look on here, mostly blacked out. So if you do like your blackout cases, this is going to be a great way to be able to run your GPU and have a very understated setup on there. And then if you want to put it in display mode, bam, you've got a very colorful understated glow on there that's being basically side lit through the plexiglass, and any type of surface that has a wall is going to start glowing. I like that setup look on there, and with the right fluids in there, it'll look even sharper. So this would be something that I would definitely put in a clear fluid on. This way the RGB can just kind of dance right across the clear fluid really nicely. It'll make the bubbles that kind of rush through the card kind of look cool too. If you get into that kind of stuff. Like I said, I nerd out on this. So this will be offered on there. If it's like I would figure this is going to be in your $200 range setup, $200 to $300 range for the water block. Plus your shipping. And then if you haven't had any other setup on there, you're going to be buying other stuff to kit out with. But with the system off, just sitting there idling with nothing, this is going to be what it looks like. It will come in through, usually the way that they do it is they'll come in one direction and then exit out the other side here. I would assume that it comes in over here, so it's gonna cool down the power rail and the memory before entering into the VGA core section, and then come out and cool down the rest of the stuff. I do like it better whenever they come in right through the center on these and cool down the VGA core first. I would rather have the core cooled down, but there's been a lot of testing that once the coolant hits absolute temperature of what the heat dissipate, once it's fully heat soaked, and the system itself is stabilized, the coolant is the same temperature throughout really. And you see a very nominal effect on anything. The coolant's rushing past all the components quite quickly, so it's not like it's getting up to that full heat soak saturation where basically it cannot take in any more heat. And as it's running around in all the orifices, it is also cooling down. So as long as you've got good flow of the coolant, you shouldn't really have any problems with this at all. And I do like the idea that once your PCB is in there, any overlap, you will be able to see all the circuitry. So I kind of like that look too. So if you like bare naked circuitry, this is going to be your cup of tea. And then talking about, you know, something that if you are also the person that likes to do the all white builds, and I mean all fucking white builds, right? You want your snow white build. This will help you out here, guys. But bam. So we have the Neptune from iGame. All white fans. They went through and it looks like they powder coated the radiator white. And the only thing I have to say about this is they could have made the PCB on the GPU white also, like Galax does on their white edition. I wish they would took the one extra step and made the PCB white also. But you know, it is what it is, guys. I can get past that. I mean, at least they have real nice white sheets going down. I mean, they thought about a lot of the other aspects of this. So this much is awesome, guys. Awesome. I like this. I would be interested to see how, because it looks like the fan wiring goes through the cable sheath right here, and then goes into here. So it looks like they're with that 12 volt connector that NVIDIA uses. It looks like there's a smaller little connector off to the right. This might be your fan control that you plug into the motherboard or something like that, or this is going to be like a data line. It could all just get powered in from the GPU side. I'm not really sure. Don't have this card in my hand, but this is pretty sharp. I do like this, even though it's NVIDIA. I know. But I'm not a fan of the blue on there. Now, if you're doing a white and blue build on here, like you're doing a Gundam build, this might work out pretty good for you. This would be if I was going to do an all white build, I would do this one. This is a little bit more understated. I would be trying to do a completely understated look on here, and I would be doing like your black and white, almost like your 50s checkerboard theme on here, kind of make it look like a 50s hot rod garage inside the case. That would be where my brain would go on something like this as a custom fucking PC build. I think it would look really cool as a you know, you open up the case door or something like that, or you look into it and it looks like you're looking into a 1950s completely hot rodded out garage where you see all the checkerboard paint on it, and oh man, I could just lose my mind. Rude, what do you think about two-stroke engines? I have snowmobiles that are two-stroke engines. I love them. One thing I love about two-stroke is the moment you crack that throttle, it is instant go. Whop, and you just take off. Where a four-stroke, you kind of gotta wait for it. It's like, crack the throttle, and you're like, wait for it, and go. I know, the RPM. So my snowmobile, at top end, I'm at 9,200 RPM with my snowmobile at just under 140 miles an hour. I'm like, my nickname is Two Stroke. Nice, Shuby. Nice. Yeah, I love two-stroke engines. Are pretty cool. They're fun to play with. I like them better when they're carbureted, because then I can really kind of play with the flow of them, because you just got to look at the two strokes as nothing more than a really high-speed air pump. That's all they really are at the end of the day, is a high-speed air pump. The only drawback is they're burning oil. Outside of that, they're a whole lot of fun, I'll tell you what. Four-stroke is a little bit more reliable. That's about it. So, like, your timing on your two-stroke better be fucking dead nuts on there. Otherwise, you'll start wrecking pistons on them. Never forget to put oil into your, if you got oil injection, make sure your tank is always full. For me, I mix it in the tank. It's like, look at the man and his videos. Yep. I mean, I could sit there and like that. I've got a video of me like 2 winters ago. I was out on the trail and I fucking did a video while I was out there. Maybe I'll bring like a tripod with me one of these times. If we get a good enough snow, depending on where I go, bring like a little tripod and fucking like set it up and do some videos of me just kind of riding around. If you guys are interested into that kind of wild stuff. And Rude is messaging me. Oh yes, I know this. I watched this one, Rude. I know that guy fucking supercharged it. It's actually easier to do a turbo setup on it. Way easier for a turbo setup. And you can do the turbo setup with its own lubrication. 80s 2-stroke Yamaha benching, hauling ass. Yeah. I would prefer to just put a turbo on it, man. And you can modify the carburetor to be a blow-through carburetor, and you can have some serious fun under boost. Get that out of my way here. All right. So let's get down to it, guys. So Quebec's energy manager seeks government's approval to stop powering crypto miners, guys. Guys, that is a scary fucking foresight. Basically, Hydro-Quebec has been highly subsidized by the federal by Quebec's government to do what they're doing. So basically, Quebec's Hydro-Quebec, because of the subsidiaries and the way that they've contracted themselves in, they really cannot grow. There's not enough places to be able to put hydropower, and that shit's really expensive. So they're basically capped out, right? So instead of worrying about, they're worried about the government attacking the fuel industry and forcing everybody to go onto the electric grid. And basically, the easy, low-hanging fruit on the system is going to be Bitcoin miners, just like they did in China, right? To be this green energy movement, because Justin Trudeau is a CCP communist lover with his father, Fidel Castro. So, with that being said, Hydro-Quebec is going to be a praised company from Quebec's prime ministers and stuff like that. You're going to sit there and see that a lot of these companies that are in bed with the Quebec's government that are all green energy are going to be trying to cut off all the miners at this point. They're not going to go after the banks with their data centers. They're not going to go after regular data centers at all. Period. They're just going to go after the mining industry. And then after that, they're going to start pressuring the government to allow them to open up more hydro facilities and to be backed by the taxpayers' money. Because they're basically, as the governments get involved with these companies, they are basically decentivizing them from innovating and moving to better, more sustainable green energy. More, not so much green, but renewable energy systems. And they want to demonize, demonizing the nuclear power industry. Even though over the decades, there's been leaps and bounds of better ways of dispose. Well, they're not even disposing of the depleted uranium anymore. There's ways of recycling that stuff now. It is almost a near zero waste facilities now that are all nuclear, and they definitely put off those industries for some reason. They don't want to utilize the best power out there, the most efficient power, and people don't understand what nuclear power is. Let me tell you guys what nuclear power is. Come on in here. It's a steam generator. It's steam engine generating massive amounts of power. How much more renewable can you get? It's water. The only output on those things are the depleted uranium, and most of the components can be scavenged for other devices. Boom. Those facilities are near zero waste. They don't even, the water that they use, they recycle the water over and over and over and over and over again. Like, nuke is the only way to go green long term. 100% Kyle Rosa. It's like, yep, keep the rods cool with water. He's like, yes, but the danger of it, Nem. Yeah. The danger of it, the only danger that's ever been with the nuclear power is construction companies cutting corners. That's what happened at Chernobyl. Construction company cut corners. So it's like every time there has been a nuclear disaster, it's either one, they didn't know better, or two, it was the contractor cutting corners. You're dealing with nuclear power. You better not be cutting fucking corners. Yep, they used 3 Mile Island as the FUD. Yep, 100%. Because of a man-made natural disaster, a man-made disaster. Something that they know that man caused. It was instead of learning from it and making something better, they decided to demonize it. It's really stupid. And it's even stupider that the green energy people like really dismiss that. They want to use fucking 2,000-year-old technology called windmills. Like, you can't put enough windmills up to even sustain half the power grid without having any without having any place to be able to farm. I mean, you can either have all the power in the world from windmills and no farmland and no food for anybody, or you can have a more efficient, power-dense source that is green energy and is a zero impact on the environment, unless man makes a mistake. It's so stupid. It is so stupid. But to sit there and see that Quebec's hydro firm is trying to turn the power off on some crypto miners because they want 270 megawatts worth of power from the crypto mining firms to be back on the grid. If they can sit there and tell me what industry is going to be utilizing that power. Not that they're going after that power just to free it up on the grid. What are they fucking replacing it with? Because if they're just turning off the power, that means there's some fucking moron in there that's part of the green agenda here that is just going, yeah, we don't like money anymore. Profits are for racist people and that hate the black community and the poor neighborhoods, and they shouldn't be allowed to operate. It's like this woke agenda is gonna basically bankrupt Quebec Hydro. If they actually go through with this, I would like to be in the board hearing on the next earnings report when they sit there and they suffer the greatest fucking earnings loss quarter to quarter, year to date. I'm just saying. Yeah. Oh yeah, and people don't look at this one too. And with the windmills, not only is there a gearbox in there, there's a giant disc brake. So you got brake dust. You have highly toxic special transmission fluid. Let me tell you, it is special transmission fluid in those gearboxes, and it's highly toxic, highly toxic. And those blades are non-biodegradable, non-recyclable, and have to be replaced every 5 to 10 years. Yeah. And fucking solar panels takes a lot of fucking coal to make that silicon. It takes a lot of coal power to make fucking one fucking solar panel. So what? Just to make those things takes a tremendous amount of carbon footprint. Plus, it has to be shipped across the ocean. There's some more fuel. Oh, this is gonna be hilarious. We're gonna be fucking. You're gonna see these big ass shipping vessels coming out of port, right? And they got this. They got the electric motors on, and then halfway through their journey, everybody on deck pulls out the oars, and they're like, like the old school Vikings going across the fucking ocean with these big ass ships, right? You have 500 men sitting there rowing these fucking vessels across the ocean because the electric motors only make it halfway. Or they have to send out rescue boats powered by diesel. Oh my god, yeah. That there is the funny shit. Absolute funny shit right there. So it's like I would like to see what would happen, because they don't realize, like, these facilities can go completely underground, and you can break up a big facility into several different locations, run them underneath dummy corporations, and be utilizing all the same fucking power. Because if I make a dummy corporation, that dummy corporation can just be a firm that you make up that will be your landlord, right? And the landlord doesn't have to disclose what's on the property to the electric company. Landlord's just paying for power. There's fucking ways around this stuff, and Hydro Quebec is just going to find out how innovative people can be when you're dealing with somebody's financial future. Any country that sits there and decides that they're not going to be playing in this playground coming up here, they're gonna, unless they're sitting there tightening down for absolute totalitarian control of its people, absolutely, by controlling all means of production within its own country, like Chickadee China does. I really don't see that this is going to be a feasible long-term play. I never understood how top-down control could ever really benefit. I mean, China doesn't have as much innovation as what people think. China fucking steals shit, IP from other people, and then they tweak it a little bit. That's not innovation. That they just basically steal shit from other people. Oh yeah, all the protesters like, oh yeah, all this stuff's bad. And they might have cars. Let's say all the protesters have electric cars, cell phones, smartwatches, earbuds in, with their little tablets, walking around protesting everything every day. Ask those same people, hey, you hate fossil fuels. Okay, cool. I'm cool with that. You can hate fossil fuels. How is all that power coming in to charge your devices? And 99.99999% of the time, their answer is going to be Well, you just plug it into your wall. It's electricity. It's always there. They have no concept of how power is generated on the other side. They just figure if it's electricity, that it must automatically be better, and that's not always the case. And people need to realize that. It's like that. You're giving up one energy source for an energy source that hasn't caught up technology-wise quite yet. We're getting closer, I believe, and trying to force innovation to happen instantly and overnight, it'll kill people. I'm very interested on this. We're seeing some of that stuff happen here in the United States. I know the power company does not like me at this point. They basically denied me power. They blew off my business partner on trying to get a contract set up. So basically, if we go into another location, we'll have to set something up potentially with our landlord, and cut her in on the deal. But she'll be our dummy corporation possibly, and basically make her an offer she can't refuse, maybe. Just so that we can do operation, we can operate as necessary on our end, and see how she likes it from there. I see a lot of upside potential with all of this stuff. It's like even if like I said, even if the electric company wants to give all these, they did not kick Bitcoin mining out of fucking China. I still hear fucking facilities coming out of China with like 300 to 800 fucking miners, guys. It's not like they're like big operations don't exist still in China, even with the Bitcoin mining ban out there. It's just they broke them down into smaller facilities. This way you can't tell on the electric grid, oh, that's a miner over there. Look at all the power he's using. No, I could use a megawatt here, a single megawatt over there, half a megawatt here, 400 amps over here. Yo, what up? Nico, what's going on, my man? What is going on? So it's like that's one thing I do like about Bitcoin mining is that you can so easily diversify your locations, thus decentralizing it even further. Like if somebody were to, if a lawmaker wouldn't like your business over here, they could shut down something over here, and you could still have a whole bunch of stuff running over here. This way, not everything gets shut down. That is what helps Bitcoin become more robust. So even if you're at a bigger mining facility, sometimes it's not the best idea to have everything you have in one spot, unless you've got approval of state local legislation, plus the power company's blessing behind everything. A lot of times us miners, we're pretty good about that. We try to take industries, areas where an industry has died out. This way the electric company doesn't have to build anything new for us. We're just going, hey, look, you got a lot of power here, it's not being used, what's up? We will use that power gladly. And you'll find that there's a lot of places out there that'll give big pushback because they're part of the whole ESG green movement and bullshit. And the more that they try to push that agenda, the more that you're going to see them just lose money. I mean, think about how much money, even if they were giving a sweetheart deal to the Quebec miners of 270 megawatts, if all they're putting in its place is 1 megawatt and they're going to lose 269 megawatts worth of income, that's like go woke, go broke, bitch. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. I mean, unless they're sitting there going, well, we have this industry that wants to pop off over here and they need all the power. And that's not right. What I'd be interested in also is to see if they've got contracts, because they wouldn't. I don't think that Hydro-Quebec would be going to the government to seek approval to stop that if they didn't have contracts. I think they're trying to ice skate around legalities behind this at this point. That's a conspiracy theory that I just might have thought of. I bet you they're going to the government because they can't legally turn power off on them. But if they get government's approval for a cease and desist order, that might be a different story. Because then they can go, it wasn't us, it was the government that put it down, guys. We didn't break any contract, it was the government. But to sit there and see that the manager was seeking government approval, and not that there was a government agency that had asked the Hydro-Quebec about that, it went the other way. I think that this still, if there's contracts, I think this still breaks contracts. Unless this is a way for them to try to go, hey, we want to end the contract. We don't want to give them power no more. And we want the legality to be able to break this contract with no penalty. If that's the case, then why have a contract with the power company ever again? Why utilize that company? Anybody who's in the Quebec area on Hydro-Quebec, you should start looking at getting power from a competitor. Unless they're already like China and they're anti-competition out there and there's no competitor out there and you got to basically utilize state-run power. At that point, it'd probably make nice to just get off-grid or move out of that area. It's like from Panda, yeah. I hope that Red Panda is like doesn't have to deal with this. This might be bad for Quebec area. I mean, Quebec is turned into Little China. I'm just saying they've got the mini CCP out there. Since the Queen has forgotten, the Queen of England has forgotten that had forgotten for many years that Canada was a province of theirs and that they needed a little bit more oversight than what they were getting. They've kind of got a runaway CCP government going on now. Yep. So hopefully the government is smart enough and they deny them on this, going, well, you guys made contracts. If you can break contract here, why can't you break contract with everybody else that's using big power too? It shouldn't be in industry specific. They're gonna do it. They need to break contract with every fucking data center that's in the Quebec region. Realistically, that means any big power people need to be booted off the grid. That's every data center, period. Any data center, because at the end of the day, I mean, if you think about what a real big Bitcoin mine is, we're just a data center for fucking Bitcoin. But we got no control of what's going on with the data center. We're just running the equipment, right? So we're just maintainers of the internet. So does anybody got any comments or questions before I head up out of here, guys? Anything at all? Before I head up out of here. And Rude, man, I for sure, Rude, for sure. I'm glad you found it to be enlightful. But guys, don't forget to smash that lizardy like button, subscribe if you're new here, hit the bell notification, or double check to make sure the bell notification turned on. Woo! And share this out on your favorite social media. Help get the word out to new and awesome people like yourself. I like to get as many people as I can to be part of the community. Even if they're not miners themselves, they could be soon-to-be miners with the Family Mine LLC. Yo! Definitely put FA in the Chizzity chat, everybody. Drop those FAs, guys, because you guys are rated F for fucking awesome. Yo! F to the mofo A. Yo! All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Depending on how I feel tomorrow, I might do another leg day set tomorrow, guys. So it might be in the morning, guys. So stay tuned. If anything, definitely check me out on DCA Adventure if you're new here. We'll be going live at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and be Friday night shenanigans because it is an FA Friday. Yo. And with that being said, peace out, stay savage, may your hash rate be high and your watts be low. See you on the next one. Yo.